we will be reviewing a 2011 Cadillac CTS-V coupe. This car is owned by a good friend of mine, and he was gracious enough to let me make a video on what this car is like to own. This video will include an interview along with a ride-along and flybys. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the program.
So first, I'd just like to thank you for meeting with me to discuss your car. I have a few questions to ask you. And the first thing is just kind of, your story with the car. Your experiences and, how you got it and everything. So if you could just tell us a bit about that.
Sure. I got my Cadillac CTS-V. It's a 2011 coupe. I got it from my father, actually. He lives in Florida. He bought the car, and it was too much car for him. So he sold it to me.
Okay.
And so we transported it over to Texas and basically re-registered it in my name.
Okay.
So that's how I got the car. I've always loved that car. I thought it was an amazing machine. I love the looks of it. The interesting thing about the coupe is that some people either hate the look or absolutely love it. And I'm one of the people who absolutely love the look of the car. So I was jealous that he got it, told him I really wanted one. He said, this car is way too much for me. And so I bought it off of him.
All right. And next we can just go over, kind of the general specs of the car, the numbers and everything.
Sure. So the car comes stock with a 6.2 liter supercharged V8. Puts out 556 horsepower, 551 pound-feet of torque.
Okay.
The automatic, this one's an automatic, it's a 6-speed automatic, and it's been known to do about 0 to 60 in about 3.9 seconds.
Oh, wow.
So it's a pretty quick car.
Yeah.
It has got, over the stock CTS, it has the magnetic ride control suspension system. It has Brembo brakes. It has 6 piston calipers in the front, 4 piston in the back. I upgraded with slotted rotors on mine.
Okay.
And then the only modifications I've made to it, just to give it some better air, is essentially a cold air intake. That's all I've done to it.
Okay. And so now I'd just like to move to kind of the main point of this video, which is what is it like, living with this car? I understand you daily drive this car. I think you have, like 80,000 miles on it now?
83,000 miles.
83,000 miles. I know the LSs are very reliable cars. All the reviews I've seen on CTS-Vs, they always praise that very heavily. But I just like to get your thoughts on what's it like, driving around town and everyday driving.
It's a mixture. There's some interesting things about the car. Yeah, like you're right. It's an LSA engine in it, and it is very reliable. I haven't had a single issue with that car except for normal maintenance things. Okay. So I've had to take care of those, and I've been taking them to Cadillac to take care of that because they know how to take care of his V. But beyond that, the daily driving of it is just a blast. It's fun. The hard part is you've got so much power, so much torque. It can squeal and rip the tires in first and second gear. No problem. But most of the time it's very timid when you're driving it. So you can drive it very timid, very light. It has terrible fuel economy. So I have to fill it up every week, but I don't mind. As far as other drivers, for example, on the road, I've gotten thumbs up. I've got other people giving me the V symbol, stuff like that. And then every now and then I have some people who want to hear it rev. They want to hear it. They want to see it take off. Every now and then when I'm on my way home, I'll have someone pull up next to me and rev their engine and want me to race them, stuff like that. So that can kind of sometimes get a little bit annoying, but sometimes it's fun. So it depends on who it is and where you are, where you can do stupid stuff, and hopefully you don't. But the daily driver of it, it's a comfortable car. It's relatively quiet, but it's got big honking V8 and a big exhaust note, so it does make some noise. It does grumble, and it does have a harder ride than the typical CTS. what's neat about it is you can slide this over to what's called manumatic, so you can
Okay.
move it off to the side. That
Okay.
puts the transmission in a sport mode.
Okay.
And then the paddle shifting, you can paddle shift and you can control the gears themselves. Like
Yeah.
For example, here's second gear, and then I can move it to fourth gear on its own.
Oh wow.
Drop it down to third. And then it has a number here where the number is for the actual
Okay.
thing. So put back over to here. This is this is the normal driving mode where you're
Yeah.
more tan.
Okay.
The other aspect is this button here
Yeah.
is active. Damp control. So this puts the suspension in sport mode.
Okay.
It hardens up the suspension quite a bit.
Yeah.
When I drive this thing on the track, I use that and I move it over to the sports mode, and then I paddle shift it by hand, and I'll just paddle shift it, and it just is just a brilliant machine to drive. It's so much fun.
It's very smooth too.
It's pretty quiet, very smooth.
Yeah.
If you like I said, you put it back into tour mode and just drive it normally, it rides like a Cadillac.
Wow.
So that's what it's supposed to be. I get made fun of by the Corvette guys when I was at the track last time. They said, "Oh, which one do you drive?" I told them to drive the V, and they're like, "Oh, you drive the comfy Corvette,
Yeah.
the smooth Corvette."
Yeah.
Yeah. But this car is brilliant. This put Cadillac on the map for performance.
Yeah.
Before the Gen 1 Cadillac CTS-V, they were only known for old people buying them. So the average age was 65 years or older.
Yeah.
And so the issue was that they needed to come up with a sports car that the young crowd could be attracted to. So they came up with the Gen 1, and it came pretty good, but it was only manual transmission.
Yeah, and it was naturally aspirated too, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
But it performed exceptionally well, especially on the track.
Okay.
And then they came out with this Gen 2, which they took the engine out of the Corvette ZR1,
Wow.
tuned it down, and then stuck it in this car. If I remember correctly, the sedan version, the four-door version,
Yeah.
was at the time they made it in 2010, was like the fastest sedan car on the road.
Wow.
that you could buy. I don't think it lasted very long, but
Yeah.
it was enough.
How would you describe the handling of the car?
The handling is brilliant. It does understeer. It's a heavy car.
Yeah.
But it's in your head it's a very heavy car, but when
Yeah.
you drive it and it responds more than you would think for a heavy car,
Yeah.
it throws you back. You're surprised.
Yeah.
So when I take it on the track, I went to Harris Hill Raceway and took it around that track. This thing performed exceptionally well. I was on the track with probably 25 other drivers, and I lapped them all except 2.
Wow.
And those 2 cars, there's no way I was going to beat them.
Yeah.
They were amazing. They had amazing drivers.
Yeah.
And they did really well. But I was able to keep up with them as much as I could. But when it came to handling, I could leave most of there was a bunch of people with Nissan 370s and 350s. There were some BMWs out there, so a couple of Corvettes. And of course, it's all about the driver.
Yeah.
But I could handle those guys, and I lapped them multiple times.
Wow.
Okay, now we're at 65.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
Drop it back down because other people.
Yeah. I guess the intake probably made the supercharger whine a bit louder, didn't it?
It did.
Wow.
It winded. It made it a little bit noisier, which I like the noise.
Yeah.
It's very similar to I had a Ford Focus ST before this.
Uh-huh.
I love the ST. It was a
Yeah.
brilliant car too. It was so much fun, and I
Yeah.
put a cold air intake
Uh-huh.
on that one. And when I did that, I could really hear the air being sucked in by the turbocharger. It
Yeah.
was so awesome.
Yeah.
This road is not fantastic.
Yeah.
The Brembo brakes are amazing.
Oh yeah.
So you get into a situation, it gets scary, you just simply push the brakes and you're good to go.
Yeah. I've seen people that actually put these brakes on like JDM cars and other things.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
They're amazing brakes. Nowhere
Yeah.
near as the M5 competition brakes that I rode for Carbon Street.
Yeah.
Those things
Yeah,
are
those are
amazing.
insane, yeah. Also like $8,000 or some ridiculous number.
It was a huge upgrade.
Yeah.
You know, this car is 12 years old.
Yeah.
And she has 8,000 miles on it. I've taken good care of her. She needs probably a little bit of tuning, probably some new spark plugs, maybe new wires. And I bet her health will go back up. I'm betting she's probably pushing about 500 and something horsepower instead of her original 556.
Okay.
But I could be completely wrong about that. All I know is that on some days when I start from stop and I punch it, I pretty much lose everybody except for like a Tesla Model 3 Performance. I don't really win against those.
Yeah. I guess on the top end though, this is probably a lot better though.
On the top end, I lose them.
Yeah.
So when we're on the road and they gun it and I gun it, my gunning is a lot bigger than theirs.
Yeah.
So I usually lose them. The car stays planted.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Interestingly enough, the Corvette that I've got, the C4, handles almost exactly the same.
As this one?
Yes. But the C4 does brake in the rear end a lot.
Yeah.
It'll slip out. So I have to be careful. But this car doesn't do that.
Yeah.
But one thing you don't ever do in this car is turn off the traction control.
Oh yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
It has saved me on the track multiple times when I've come into moments of holy terror and I'm going, okay, this is it, I'm going to bite it here, and the amber light over here flashes like crazy, and then the car somehow magically straightens up and I'm going straight again.
Yeah.
It's an amazing piece of engineering that they have inside this thing. From what I understand, the newer Vs are even more brilliant, and the Corvette's even more. So this thing is...
Oh, whoa.
That's 95 miles per hour.
Oh, wow. That was quick. What? Oh my god.
At least that's what I think it was. I don't know.
That was really fast.
Some things I like to do is when I'm coming up to a red light, I like to downshift it manually by hand.
Okay.
And it makes such a racket when it's doing that. I get people looking over going, what is that?
Yeah.
I can downshift it to like 4th gear here, downshift to 3rd, here's 3rd. Third keeps me at 60. Here's 2nd gear. Puts a drag on the car, something fierce, so you can feel it. It slows down pretty good.
Yeah.
So when you're on the track and you drop it from 3rd down to 2nd, when you're approaching essentially a tight turn, it puts a nice drag on the car, but doesn't necessarily cause it to nosedive too much. Which, when you get to that turn, that's when you want to put on the brakes, nosedive it, put the weight on the front tires to make the turn.
Yeah.
So you have complete control.
Oh yeah, that's true.
If you made it to the end, I'd just like to thank you for watching the video. Let me know what else you'd like to see, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.